for it.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hi, Jason. Awesome to have you here. Okay, it's looking good. We had a minor technical human-induced error there, but we're good. We're on track now. All right, and we're live in the group. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So today we are back with a special episode of our Talk Story Tuesday, where I bring in an awesome guest, and let me make sure you can see him. There we go. And so I'm really excited. I connected with Jason a few weeks ago, and we are going to be talking all things clearing so that, okay, perfect. I got you in the zone here, so that we can finally get off the struggle bus in our business and take it to the next level. So I'm going to read Jason's bio, and then I'm going to let him introduce himself because he's awesome and we're grateful to have him here in our community. So for the past 15 years, business coach and energy healer, which is a cool combination that we're definitely going to talk about, Jason Rosado has helped service-based business owners to triple their revenue and productivity while taking more worry-free and stress-free time off. He was named one of the top coaches on the planet by Future Force, and his mission is to re-stimulate the economy by helping business owners create financial and lifestyle well-being for themselves, their employees, and their families. So that, in a nutshell, is you, Jason, and I would love to have you tell us a little bit more about yourself and where you're at on the planet, and just give us a little intro.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me here today, Megan. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I really loved, when we spoke, I loved your energy, and then now being a member of the group for a little bit, awesome group. So yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. So a little bit about me and where I am on the planet. Wow.
Sure.
Not too deep to start, no. So as Megan said, yeah, I'm a business coach and I've been doing this for 15 years. Absolutely love it. I typically work with service-based business owners, and a lot of times my clients do have a small staff. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Oftentimes they do. And the thing I've noticed about business owners is that they usually have way more on their to-do list and they have time to get it done. So yeah, going in 100 different directions, doing all these things. So I help them to simplify all that. And we're going to talk about some of the tools that I use today, and give some people some insights and some things that they can do for themselves to help relieve their stress, anxiety, and their scheduling angst. And when I help my clients do this, I also help them to increase their employee productivity and profitability. And they usually do see their business double or triple in a very short period of time. So they can, enjoy life more and be more grooving.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Yes. Well, because I'm all about how our work and our life are so interconnected, and the way that we show up in our businesses will definitely impact our business and our bottom line. And so I love that you're going to be sharing these tools with us today. And so as you all are arriving, let us know how you're doing and give us a happy Tuesday in the comments. And so if you're just joining, we're welcoming Jason, and he is going to be sharing some awesome tools with us today. So let's get down to the brass tacks here. Why is it that so many business owners struggle in their business and getting to their goals?
So I think most business owners struggle. Well, first of all, I'll just talk about what most means.
Sure.
We all have seen those statistics of 90% of small businesses fail, or 95%, or whatever it is. So we do know that there's a struggle, right? So that's the first thing we want to, because it's hard sometimes. It's hard to know what's going on there. All those businesses, most of them they set goals, they get their vision straight, hopefully. They, increase their skill set and figure out what they need to do, both within the service delivery that they do, and then also with running the business and launching it and getting clients and doing all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. But at some point, they still aren't, there's something still not connecting. So what could that be? Go ahead, people, throw it in the chat.
Yes, good. Yeah, throw it in the chat.
What could be missing that like 90% of businesses don't make it if they're setting goals, they're, investing in marketing systems and spending lots of time doing things, and they have, they're great at what they do. So what is it that could be stopping them? Any guesses?
Yeah, any guesses? If you guys have a guess, I definitely have a guess. So I'd love to see, for those of you that are here, what you think might have been holding you back a little bit, or might have been kind of keeping you in that like cyclical stuck pattern. I will be the first to say it. For me, it was definitely a mindset issue
Mhm.
and a self-belief issue of like,
Really?
okay, you know, I
Okay.
got my foot on the gas and I'm like doing all the strategies and doing all
Yeah.
the everything's. And then my foot was on the brake, like, oh, this is never going to work. Or, you know, in
Yeah.
that chatter of the mind.
Mhm.
So I will say that that was it for me. What do you find it to be, Jason?
That ding, ding, ding.
Okay, perfect. Gold
Yeah.
star.
Ding. It was interesting for me because I felt like, so like I said, I've been doing this 15 years. I got trained as a life coach.
Okay.
And my thinking was that I was going to be doing life coaching and career coaching, probably mostly. Um, and I was so excited out of the gate and so many things I wanted to do that the mindset thing wasn't that much of a struggle. It was really just learning marketing and learning networking and, figuring out how to do this. And then once I got to a certain level of success, that's when the mindset stuff started coming in, because I remember even like a few years ago, I would look back and think about stuff I did when I first started. I was like, how come I can't do that now? Like, how come I can't just pick up the phone and call people that I don't know and try to get a conversation going and do this stuff and, just all this weird stuff. Because I don't know, when I was starting with nothing, there was like nothing to lose. I was just so excited. And the mindset thing for me, and I know this isn't necessarily everybody. Some people have it from the beginning. Totally makes
True.
sense. Yeah. And, a big thing I think is the imposter syndrome. What if, yeah. Okay.
I was gonna keep my hand up. I'm like, yep, okay, yeah, I had that too.
Yeah, totally. It's so funny. It reminds me of one of my clients, a past client, Lucia, who had three main offerings. So she was an interior designer, and she was offering design, staging, and professional organizing as her main
Cool.
services. Yeah. And she had been in business for, what was it, about 2 years, very few clients during that time. Just stuff wasn't happening. And it was really all about mindset, right? So what we had to focus on, the first thing that I tell my clients is to stand in your greatness. So yeah, to really get in touch with what it is that you love doing in your business. What's the thing that would make this just the best thing in the world? I mean, we all love our businesses already. Hopefully we love our clients.
Hopefully both of
So what
those.
is it?
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, there are funny stories about that too.
Yeah, that might be another conversation.
Yeah. So stand in your greatness, figure out what it is that you absolutely love doing, and then make that the center of your entire business. So with Lucia, and this is again going back to what we're talking about, the mindset, so many people fall into this trap. She really, really wanted to do interior design as her main focus, but she was so afraid of stepping back from professional organizing and professional staging, because she thought those are the things that bring in the money. And the organizing, design is something she was newer at, and it would be harder to market and harder to pull in clients that way. And she already had a network of realtors built up that she, strategically did to get staging clients and organizing clients. So she was really afraid to let go of those two areas and focus on the design. But we were able to go through some mindset techniques and let her let go of those subconscious fears. They were both conscious and subconscious, right? So there's the stuff that she knows that she's afraid of, but then there was also the hidden stuff, the deeper stuff. I mean, so we know, well, maybe focusing on staging is the most lucrative way, and I really need money right now because I really need clients. I've got bills to pay. I've got a family. So I don't want to let go of that. But then the subconscious stuff about, we mentioned the imposter syndrome. So what if I do let go of those things and then I go to this thing that I really love, but I'm not quite as experienced at, and I just don't deliver, or people don't show up, or, and then the deeper fears is really, does that mean I'm not worthy? What's my self-worth? Am I lying to myself? Are people around me, my family, going to criticize me or judge me? Am I ever going to be delivered if I do this? So we start going down and down. And I know a lot of people listening right now have some background in this stuff and know this. So but I hope even just hearing it is like, oh yeah, it's always good reminders to hear things. So,
I
but you
agree.
said so what was your imposter syndrome, if you don't mind my asking, that was popping up for you?
Good question. Thank you.
Mhm.
I wanted to just really validate what you were saying there, because a lot of people can really recognize these things in themselves, and sometimes these conversations are not had, and we may not even be aware that these stories are running, as you mentioned, on a subconscious level. And so I think it's always really good. And one of the reasons I bring people in is, as business owners, it's really good to kind of get these understandings from other people of like, you're not the only one that goes through this stuff. Like even the most successful people have gone through it at some point. And so there's, it's, you can maybe just consider it part of the entrepreneurial journey is that you're doing this work, right? My coach always says like that there's no faster line to self-development than owning a business. And so
Mhm.
it's definitely one of those things. So let us know if you guys can relate. And to answer your question, my imposter syndrome. So for me, it was quite an interesting one. Like I had this story from my parents when we were growing up that, you had to work hard to make money. And, you kind
Mhm.
of had to work hard to deserve to make a lot of money.
Right.
And because what I was doing came so easily to me and still does, and it's really fun for me, I wasn't working hard. And so therefore I didn't deserve to make a lot of money, and therefore it wasn't going to happen. And so it was this sort of like self-fulfilling prophecy of like, well, you can't make money teaching yoga. And then, realizing like, okay, like thankfully I had somebody, I forget when this part of my realization happened, but it was somebody that was like, the fact that it's easy for you and that you're gifted at it makes it really amazing, and that you're lucky and that you are completely deserving, and we're all deserving, and you don't have to do anything to deserve anything. But it was this real like twist in my head that was definitely a block for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And so those blocks, because they're buried so deeply and they're ingrained from an early age, oftentimes, um, because I mean, today the whole thing we want to talk about was self-healing.
Right.
And yeah, so that's stuff that needs to get healed. It's like
Yeah.
these old emotional wounds that our psyche, our defense mechanisms, our psychological defense mechanisms built up for us because at some point in our life something happened to traumatize us. And by traumatize, I don't mean like life ending, earth shattering kind of stuff. It might be something very mild,
Hmm.
but it's enough to stick with us and create this set of beliefs to be a wall around it, which in itself is like a wound. It's a psychological, emotional, energetic wound that then we need to heal in order to
Hmm.
bring ourselves past it and out of it, and then be able to move forward as functioning adults, or business owners who have stuff that we want to get done, and darn it, why aren't we doing it?
Right, I know. Yeah, I had
So
somebody say once that they're like, we're all just kind of masquerading as like 4 or 5 year olds in these adult bodies, because that's the psyche level that we're running at, right? Because all of like so much of our life is influenced by our subconscious mind, 90% or something, right? And so that if we're operating from those childhood beliefs of self-protection and wounding, if you will, like you said, it's
yeah,
definitely can be a hinder for sure. So would
absolutely.
you say that the mindset piece and beginning to recognize and see and feel these is what you would say like the missing ingredient for helping people to step forward on their journey?
It is. Yeah,
Mm.
it is, because so like when I work with my clients, we work on visioning, where they want to be, what their business would look like if they had it just the way that they want it. We work on creating goals, action steps, strategy, upgrading certain skills, business leadership, time management, all these things that are important. You can do all of those, but if you have some internal fear that's stopping you from taking action or making your best decisions, putting your best self forward, then all of that stuff, you'll never get to it. It doesn't matter. You can study and go through all the millions of courses in the world to get
Hmm.
better and better and better at something. But if there's a belief, and again, it could be conscious, it could be subconscious. Usually it's subconscious, because the conscious ones we can kind of talk ourselves through, often.
Hmm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
but
Might be a
but
several attempt sort of thing.
right, yeah. And so one thing that, as you were talking, it reminded me of is another one of my clients who is an executive coach, and she has an executive coaching firm. And she was raised by a preacher. Her dad is a preacher. So she was taught that, yes, like money is evil. People who make money are evil, all this stuff, which many of us have gotten that also, especially people who didn't grow up with money. It's just all around us. And that it's interesting that in itself, that's one reason I believe strongly that people who were born into money or have money around them growing up, it's so much easier for them to be successful. Yes, they have certain advantages, the mere fact that there was resources there for them, but the mindset is different, and it's not a limiting thing of deep down of, oh, these people are bad because it was just their norm growing up. So I think that too, people who come from more humble beginnings have a harder time with this mindset stuff, and it can really goof you up. There's, like I remember once being on an introductory session with a potential client, and we were talking and we were talking about her fears and her beliefs and her emotions. And as she was talking, it triggered in me remembering when I was starting what it was like when I would go to the grocery store and I have my list and I'm, and looking at the bread, and then and I'm like, I know people will relate to this, looking at the price tags and calculating, okay, per ounce, which one of these is the better value? Because I want to make sure, money is so scarce right now. It's so tight. I need to make sure that I can have more slices of bread per, $2 loaf than this other one. And all that stuff, I mean, you find yourself in these daily situations, something like that, and you don't realize that that's affecting your business. That's affecting your ability to attract clients. That's affecting your ability to manage people and to delegate and to offload work so that you can free up your time and you can focus on what's most important for you.
Oh, yeah. There's so many nuggets in there. That's so interesting because it's like all of these things are kind of running, and they might be happening. And until you have that awareness of them, it's just like your MO. And that's where and then you're wondering, like, why is my business not growing? Why am I stuck at this plateau? Like, why is this so difficult when it looks like it's so easy for other people? And so thank you for sharing all of that. And let us know in the comments if you can relate to any or all of this.
Right.
I definitely, can relate to that of, I think there's a couple ways you could label it. Maybe it's thrifty, but it's a definite piece that it's really good for us to start to look at. And so I would love to hear from you, maybe one of the ways that you help people start to bring awareness, shed a little bit of light on this of like, okay, what can we start to look at? What might be something that might be slowing us down or holding us back?
So the main thing to look at is, let's say there is something that you're trying to focus on, or something that you've been procrastinating, something on your to-do list that you haven't gotten to, or a decision you're trying to make. A lot of my clients, it's sort of the chicken and the egg. They're like, do I ramp up and hire more employees, or do I get the business first so that I can support them? Or, but then my life's going to go crazy and I won't have time to like look for people and hire them and train them. So it's this chicken egg thing. So the chicken and the egg, whenever you find a chicken and the egg problem in your business, that's being caused by a mindset block. Because yes, logically, right, there is this dilemma. However, once you remove that block, the answer becomes much more obvious. And, because there is an answer for everybody for each situation like that. It's a matter of getting us past the fear, the internal, the energetic, the emotional trauma that's stopping us from seeing clearly what the right path is and what the right thing to do. Another thing that comes to mind with this is a lot of times we're thinking about the long term, which is important. I highly believe in thinking long term when you're creating action steps and stuff. But we're also letting that vision of where we want to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, even for some people, 6 months from now can be, something that really messes with us. We're letting that vision of, well, how is that going to, I'm going to be so much bigger and have so much more business, or have so many more employees, or have so many more people, clients depending on me, things to do. that again, subconsciously you work backwards and then stop yourself from creating simple, easy steps now to start moving in that direction, right? So that whole chicken and egg thing, it can come up in so many different ways. But going back to what can you do about it, right? Well, you have to try to think of the shortest, simplest way to describe it. You need to clear the emotional block. So it can be energetic, it can be emotional. They're really similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're intertwined. And the easiest way, I think, is to just give yourself. So I'm going to kind of show you just a little bit right now, if that's all right.
Perfect. Yes.
Great.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. And so you just kind of, whatever you're struggling with, whatever, you're feeling some angst about something, just kind of calm yourself and feel in your body where you feel it. So this is one of the techniques I use with my clients. There are a few. And this is something you can do very easily yourself, although it does help when you have somebody to help guide you through it.
Always. Coaches are key.
Exactly. But okay, so you just calm yourself and kind of look into your body and figure out where this angst is located physically, where you're feeling it. So a lot of people feel it in their abdomen, in their chest, in their torso somewhere. It might be the heart, might be like a fluttering or a nervousness. It might be a tightness in their gut or in their solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client one of my clients who was one of my architect clients. I've had a few architect clients. Love working with them. Very interesting because they have that creative thing and that scientific analytical thing going on.
Yeah, that's an interesting balance.
Yeah, very cool people. He would feel it in his hands because he works with his hands, and yeah, it was so. In some people who maybe were athletes, they could feel it in their legs. So there is some stuff there, but most people feel it somewhere in their torso. So that's where you typically look for it. Could be in your head, could be like behind your eyes, or kind of like a headache feeling. Wherever it is, just get in touch with it. That's the first step. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't do anything else, just doing that will help. And if you're able to just put your awareness on where that spot is. So let's say it's right here. And just being able to feel that and allow it to be there instead of trying to push it away. That's what we normally do.
True.
When we feel angst, when we feel nervousness about something, when we're beating ourselves up, maybe because we're procrastinating on something that we feel we really need to do or really should do, and we start getting down on ourselves, instead of worrying about the emotion or the analytics of it, start, find it in your body and then locate it wherever it is. And just allow it to be there, completely surrender to that feeling. So if it's a tightness or a fluttering or like a heat sensation or it could be different shapes, whatever it is, pounding, whatever, a pain, just get really present to that and allow it to just run its course. Don't push it away. Just allow it to be there. Surrender to it. Breathe into it. You can even send it love. Send it breath. You could, from your mind, from your spirit, from your aura, you can shine light onto it and give it light. Let it expand in your body. So you want to feed this thing instead of trying to push it away or judge it, which are the things we normally do. We do it subconsciously. We do it reflexively. So we don't want to do that. Yeah, we want to love it. That's what we're trying to do. When we're giving it and putting attention on it, we're allowing it to be there. We're loving it because it's a piece of us from some time in the past that was triggered, that was traumatized. And when this pops up, it's going, hey, but what about me? What about me? I'm trying to keep you safe. Why are you ignoring me? So that's what we want to stop doing. And it's quite magical. It really is. And when I do this with my clients, it's amazing. They can just, like I said, I do like to walk people through it to kind of give them a deeper understanding of it and how to go about this process. But that's on the surface, that just do that and it helps. And it's just amazing that once you let go of those things. So like going back to Lucia, she had these 3 areas of her business. 2 of them she wasn't really gung-ho about. The third one she loved, but she was fearful that it wouldn't provide her the business that she wanted. So we worked on that, and we let her let go of those 2 other things. And yes, we did work on some other business building skills, but the main thing really was helping her to let go of that. And then that business took off. And this was during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, it really did, because not only was she able to start attracting more clients just from an energetic standpoint, she was able to get more creative about, okay, so what can I do during the pandemic? How can I shift things? What changes can I make in the business to take advantage of this and really serve and help people? And she was able to do that, and her business totally took off. And it was great. I mean, same thing with another client who is an attorney. I was speaking with her a few months ago, and she said to me, had it not been for our work together, I'd be out of business right now. But instead, it's flourishing. I've got more business that I know what to do with. I've been able to hire more people. Business keeps coming. And a really cool thing about this too is that you can use the same techniques. I do this with a lot of my clients to help them make their home life better, especially now because so many people are working from home. Yeah, hello,
Extra
crazy. So that's a great thing too, is a lot of my clients are saying how their home life, their family relationships are improving. And so much of that is due to these techniques and feeling into your emotions and allowing them to be there and going through this process. So in the end, what you want to do is you want to get that feeling down to a 0 where you don't feel it anymore. That pretty much means you've loved it enough that it's not triggering you anymore.
Removing the emotional charge.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I was definitely feeling it as a knot in my solar plexus. And then even just the bringing the attention to it, I could feel it like as if, if it was a fist like this, it was like,
yeah.
And then when you added the piece about shine some light, and then immediately before you said, and then you can feel it expand, it was like,
yeah,
I could feel it just kind of, it's so interesting because it does seem, what's the word? Counterintuitive, because we're always like, well, if I feed it, it'll grow. And I love that you said that it's basically a wounded part of us that we have been suppressing and ignoring essentially, but we're fighting against it because it keeps like,
right.
And so it's a really interesting, refreshing way to start to step forward and step out of our own way, is learning to love ourselves
right.
and be kind.
Really
I know.
Absolutely.
And it's so funny because, you hear a lot about like self-care and self-love, and it's like, it's all so important, but it really, I think what you're just sharing here, coming down to it, is turning our focus to these areas of ourself that are still a bit fragile, from back in the day, and they've been stuck in that place because we haven't given them that attention. And probably in the ultimate irony, it happened in the first place because of us being like rejected or not given attention or whatever it was, not getting that love that we needed in that moment. And so it created this sort of shelter of protection around it, right? And so at least that's what it was for me too, of being able to like turn my focus and be like, okay, I'm going to learn to love and integrate this part of myself, and then being able to move forward from that place of moving towards the wholeness, right? Because there's so many different fragments. And I love that Lucia was able to be brave enough with your guidance, definitely, to be able to kind of shift her focus. And so I think that's an amazing tool, and clearly you have lots. And so I think it's really important for coaches to have coaches too. Would you agree with that? Why is it important for us to have a coach?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Why is it important?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just from my own experience, it's so hard to see where the blocks are. I mean, when I'm speaking with my clients, it's funny too, because I've had this conversation a lot recently with people, or more to the point, I've seen it posted on Facebook groups, discussion boards, about, is it better to coach people on video or on audio? And so many people are saying video, because you can see their body language and for me, I'm just like, no, audio, because I can hear, and I guess it's just because I've been doing this for so long. One is I can hear people's inflections and changes in energy and their volume and where their breath is and all these indicators of what's going on that because I'm a trained coach. So I can hear those things and pick up on them where other people wouldn't. And we can't in ourselves. We certainly can't. I know I can't in myself a lot of times. So that's one thing. The other thing is I think people are more honest with their coach and with themselves when they're not on video. There's something about having the camera on you that first of all, you're preoccupied with how do you look and what facial expressions are you showing, are you emoting, and things like that. The other thing is when I work with my clients, we work together. We co-create a strategy, right? Yes, I do some teaching. I teach them skills and stuff, but then we take those skills or the mindset shifts and we put that into, okay, so how do we make the business go forward this week? What do I do today to move this forward? And if I make a suggestion to them, I want them to feel 100% confident and clear and totally okay with saying either like, yeah, that sounds great. That totally makes sense. I'm going to do that. Or I don't know. What about this other thing that's kind of similar, and they can like counter offer a suggestion, or just saying flat out, Jason, no, that's not me. That's not a good one. Those are really important things to do. I don't want to just like dispense information and guidance and recommendation and then they go do it and it doesn't work. I want them, they have to be part of the process. And when you're on video, people are more ashamed, I found, and more embarrassed to say, to be honest, again, with me and with themselves. So, and I forgot how the heck we got on that subject.
No, I think that I'm fascinated by that because at least for me, what my first thought was is because we're sometimes so self-focused that, when we have a camera in front of us, we're like, oh,
yeah,
and trying to be like on, if you will. And so I think what you make a really good point there, that there's a lot to be attended to without the camera being in your face. And so you could be more raw and vulnerable. So how we got there was,
well, why do coaches
we need
coaches?
somebody else to see our blocks and our little blind spots, because it's quite difficult. Like, I mean, we're so familiar with this that we can't really see where we're sort of off the mark a little bit. So I think that's a really beautiful thing to say. And so I guess on that note, I know that you have a gift that you would like to share if anyone is curious about this work, because let us know in the comments. Wasn't that amazing? I'd love to hear your experience, for those of you watching live and for replay, where it was in your body, only to the degree that you're comfortable sharing, where it was in your body and your experience with that. And I know I definitely, like, even just with that tip of just like having my finger there and being able to go through your guidance, I can really see it being very powerful and effective. So I'd love for you to chat a little bit about your gift that you'd like to share.
Sure. Yeah. So right now, I do have some open client slots, and again, I believe in honesty. I believe in transparency.
Yep.
So, it's not like, hey, go opt in for this thing and then blah, blah, blah. I've got open client slots and I'm looking for amazing clients to work with. I absolutely love helping people to be able to, like I said, double and triple their business, get out of the things that are stopping them from moving forward, be able to take their time back. So instead of working, 50, 60, 70 hours a week or more, they can work like 3 days a week or 4 days a week, whatever it's going to be, that's going to be perfect for them. So I really just want to help people. And in doing that, again, because I know Megan and I know this group, and this is an amazing group of people, I do want to offer a free business breakthrough coaching session. So if you want to do this, here's what we do real quick. It's on the phone, takes about 60 minutes. And I ask that you block out 90, just make sure we have a lot of time. We can talk about next steps for you and really help you. And what we want to do is take a look at where your business is now, where you'd love for it to be a year from now, like, what your income looks like, what your lifestyle looks like, your family time, what you're focusing on in the business, help you to get your vision as crystal clear as possible in that time that we can. I also want to take a look at what your ultimate business success looks like. So, further down the road, where could this thing really go for you? What are the big possibilities? What could be so amazing about this if you're able to just get past the little things? A lot of times they are little things. We don't realize it. We think they're big things. Little things are stopping us. Yeah. So I want to help you to clear your vision that way and really help you see what's super awesome and possible. Second thing is help you to unlock the challenges and even uncover the hidden blind spots that could be slowing you down, standing in your way, or sabotaging your efforts to move forward. So you know what areas to focus on, and what to do going forward. And then I want to help you to create a plan a step-by-step plan to achieve your goals in the coming year faster than you thought was possible, so that you're really moving forward and getting out of those fear areas. Sorry.
Oh, that's a hard one.
It's like there and here. Like,
Yeah, no, that's hard.
I don't know. Get out of those areas and be able to move forward.
There you go.
And then lastly, I just want you to leave the session renewed, re-inspired, re-energized about seeing everything that your business can do for you, how you can help yourself, how you can help your clients, if you have employees, how you can help your staff to bring them opportunity, bring them prosperity, to again, have the time with your family that you want, where you're not feeling guilty for spending time away from the business because you're not getting stuff done. You don't feel bad when you're with your family because your mind's on work, you're not present to them. So, I mean, that's a big part of why I do this. So many small business owners feel like they have to sacrifice one or the other, or even if they don't feel like it, they end up doing that. And I want to put an end to that for everybody. I want you to have the super awesome business where you support yourself, you support your clients, support employees, and everybody. It's just a win-win-win. You're taking care of yourself, and you're nurturing yourself, and you're living the life that you really want to live and that you're meant to live. So anyway, if you'd like to have this session with me, go to distinctivecoaching.com/talk. And
I just dropped
grab
it
it
in the comments.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
And just grab whatever time works for you. We'll go ahead and get on the call. And I guarantee this will be one of the best hours you've ever spent working on your business. So for this session, I normally charge $400. Right now it's complimentary because, like I said, I am looking for clients. It's no obligation. I'm just happy to do it to get to know people. Maybe there are some other ways we can help each other. But at the end, if it sounds like there are things that we can work on together, and there are ways that I can help you to transform your business and really move forward, I'll ask you if you'd like to talk about the options of working together, and then we can do that. And if I don't feel that there's a fit, or I'm not certain if I can help, then I'll let you know that, because I really only do take on clients that I already know this is going to work for. Just because I love seeing these successes with my clients, and I believe in fit, and I don't believe in trying to sell stuff to people that it's not right for them. That just harms everybody. It doesn't do any good. So I'd rather go through a process like that, be in service, be able to point you to the right directions if I'm not it, and I'm happy to do that, because I know incredible people who are great at what they do. And when you need help with something, let's get you helped. So
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Well, that's a very generous offer. And so, as I mentioned, I did put that in the comments, and thank you so much for that tip, that technique, that tool was so good. And so, as a wrap up, was there anything else that you wanted to share, or anything that we needed to wrap up, or what's it called? Tie up the loose ends?
No, I've been looking at your tapestry all talk. I've been thinking I love that tapestry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a bit off center. I typically like to be right in the center, and so it looks like I'm wearing a peacock crown.
Right. That's what it looks like. It's very beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. That was my partner that suggested it back back last March. He was like, well, you have to make it look less like your living room and more like a yoga studio if you're going to be filming all these videos. Awesome. He's like, the bookshelf needs to go. And so it's great. I'm great. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely, it's perfect too, because it got my brand color in there and everything. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I would love, it was just such a fun joy to chat with you today, Jason. And I'm so grateful to have these tools and just knowing that, we can be after all the shiny strategies and all the things in the world. And if we've got our foot on the brake and we're, stuck in these little patterns, that could be what's really been holding us back. And so it's beautiful that you have those tool sets, and that you're sharing that with people, and that even just this conversation of bringing awareness to that and recognizing, these little things that we can start to do that are going to have big ripple effects in our business. And so I'm grateful that you're here in this community, and that you're able to come on today and chat with me and share that tool. And so if you have any questions after you have watched this now, if you're here live, for those of you that are here, or if you have questions later on, please feel free to tag Jason. He's also in this group, and I did put the link, and I'll put it in the description here in a second, and reach out to him, because clearly he has a lot of tools to share in this, and he definitely knows, being a business owner, what it's like, right? So it's always good to have somebody who really gets you on those different levels. So thank you again, Jason.
Thank
Was
you.
great to chat with you, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.
Thanks, you too, Megan.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Yes, sparkle wave. Sparkle. I know it's like roller coaster, sparkle wave. So those of you that are here and watching later, thank you so much for being part of this community. Thank you for being part of the Talk Story Tuesday today, and for being a brilliant light in this world that is constantly moving forward on your journey. And so I'm happy to, and it's my honor to share these tools with you and bring in awesome people like Jason to share their wisdom and their nuggets. And so have a great rest of your day, everybody. And I will see you very soon. Thank you. Thank you. Take good care. Bye, everybody. Okay.